We will start that one is kingdom. This is Monera. That classification of organisms we have started. uh, that in the previous class we had general characteristics and discussion. Now we will one by one the details of each kingdom we will see, and we'll also solve the questions on that. Okay. Uh, See, this is our first kingdom is that is the kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera. This one, as we know, that is the kingdom of prokaryote, is it? And when we talk about the prokaryote, we simply we recall that bacteria. So in this group, this is bacteria, kingdom of bacteria or kingdom of prokaryote. They are the main one. And in these, of course, we have this bacteria. Under this, we can say Archaebacteria, one group of bacteria, that is the Archaebacteria and Eu bacteria. Actually, bacteria, they can be grouped under two. Okay, Archaebacteria and Eu bacteria. Archaebacteria is the most primitive and that is the oldest. Okay, that during the evolution, the Archaebacteria, they evolved first, originated first, and after that came the Eu bacteria, that is the true bacteria. Okay, and then from there, this there is also that one blue-green algae which was kept under algae in the old classification, okay, in the plant kingdom. This is now along with the bacteria because they also have prokaryotic cell structure, and now they are called cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria because this one was kept under class Cyanophyceae. Okay, they are also known as Cyanophycean member. Okay, they are blue-green algae also called. So they are now, as they have more similarity with the bacteria, so they are also called cyanobacteria. So Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and Cyanobacteria. And another one type of bacteria is there, which is also known as filamentous bacteria. These are the Actinomycetes, one group of organism called Actinomycetes. Okay, So this actinomycetes or the filamentous bacteria, they also are included, and the smallest living organism, that Mycoplasma, are there. So in this bacteria group, we get the maximum diversity. As a group in bacteria, we get maximum diversity. They are mainly, they are unicellular. But this single cell, they are formed colonies. Okay, many single cells are there, but they are present in the form of colonies. Colonies are of different shape and size, and sometimes these colonies, they can make thread like structure also, that is the filaments, and many filaments also can be stay together, so forming colony. This bacteria, if we see, they are naturally this most simple organization, but as they have evolved in the very early, during the origin of organism, so they have lot of complexity also, though simple structure, but lot of complexity are also there, because they have to survive in the different habitat. And based on their shape, these are spherical bacteria. They are also known as coccus, coccus, coccus. Okay, or oh, spherical bacteria is called, here is a little bit uh, by mistake. Spherical bacteria is coccus, and the bacillus is the rod-shaped bacteria. This Vibrium is comma-like bacteria, and Spirillum is the spiral-shaped bacteria. So these are the shape only in the bacteria. Metabolic diversity, okay, in the bacteria is very, very high. Here we get metabolic diversity is very high, because we get here that autotroph to heterotroph. But not only in the autotrophs also, there are photosynthetic autotroph, trophs are there, and also another word is chemosynthetic autotroph. Chemosynthetic autotroph. In the heterotroph, it is, there is saprotroph, there is parasite, and also in this group there is another type of nutrition is there, that is called the symbiont, that is symbiosis. So photoautotroph, then there is chemoautotrophs, means they can synthesize their food energy. One is by normal process of photosynthesis, another one is by breaking the inorganic substances and get the energy and synthesize ATP. Okay, so it is chemoautotrophs and normal saprotrophs, that they are heterotrophs which feed on, get their energy from the dead organic materials. And then there is parasite. This parasite live on the body of the other organism, animal, plants, human beings, and may cause disease also. Symbiotic bacteria is there. Some of the most common symbiotic bacteria that we know is rhizobium, is it, that can synthesize, that is nitrogen fixer. No? There are free living nitrogen fixer also. So by metabolism, we get a lot of diversity among the bacteria. But most of the bacteria are heterotrophs. And among these heterotrophs, those which are, they are the most important, the decomposer. In the decomposer, mainly two groups of organisms are there. One is fungi, another one is bacteria. So, bacteria and fungi, these two are the most important, the decomposer, which decompose the body of the organism and release the different chemical, the organic chemicals, they are converted into inorganic. So the mm, cyclic movement of the material on this biosphere takes place. So this already I have told that bacteria includes Archaebacteria, Eu Bacteria, Cyanobacteria, Actinomycetes, and Mycoplasma. Archaebacteria, they have originated early in the evolution, and they can live in the most harsh habitat, and this is possible due to their spatial structure of the spatial cell wall. You know that cell wall is the protective boundary of all the cells. Okay, and in bacteria the cell wall is very unique, and this is not similar with the cell wall of plants and the cell wall of fungi. So they have a special cell wall, and particularly the Archaebacteria, they have very special, even little different than the normal eubacteria, and that's why they can stay in a very rough habitat, extreme condition. They can live in high salt areas, they can live in very high temperature, in the hot spring, they can live in the marshy places. Okay, and so these are the those which live in very high salt areas, they are called halophiles. Okay, and the hot spring thermoacidophiles, and those in marshy places they call methanogen, because in the marshy places by the decomposition they produce methane gas. methane gas, and methane is the component of the biogas. Biogas, they live in the guts of the ruminant animals, that is cow, buffalo, and those ruminating animals, cow, buffalo, goats, etc. And there they decompose, they help in the digestion of the food also somehow, and then they decompose the dung and forms the methane gas. So the these bacteria, these methanogens are very useful for human beings because it is the source of the biogas. Biogas is a fuel gas produced from the waste of animal excreta particularly. So they help in the decomposition of the animal excreta and also provide the fuel gas. This eubacteria or true bacteria are many. Okay, under this cyanobacteria have chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is chlorophyll A is the universal photosynthetic pigment. This is universal photosynthetic pigment, and due to presence of this chlorophyll A, this cyanobacteria, they can carry out photosynthesis. They have oxygenic photosynthesis, that is, they produce oxygen during their photosynthesis. So these cyanobacteria, they are photoautotropic. These cyanobacteria, they are unicellular, or they have colonies of different types, or they have filaments. Okay, one of the very important thing is there, they have on their cell, they have a mucilaginous substance, a gelatinous substance which can absorb and retain lot of water in this chemical. Okay, and that's why this gelatinous sheath can help to retain water on their surface, and they are safe against the dehydration. So keep them alive, and due to presence of the gelatinous substance, they are very slippery also in the on the floor, in the on the road, or wherever there is a little bit of a wet condition, and a little bit of water accumulation is there. In those water, this cyanobacteria grow and make the surface slippery, and many times we slip flat. Okay, so this is very important things for them. They are photosynthetic. Many of the cyanobacteria, they are edible also, and as they are photosynthetic, oxygenic photosynthesis, they help in the oxygen carbon dioxide cycle. This some of the this cyanobacteria, they are very important nitrogen fixer. They fix a nitrogen, that is, atmospheric nitrogen is converted into ammonia or the compound of nitrogen, that is nitrate and nitrite, which can be absorbed by the plant. Okay, so that became the source of nitrogen, source of nutrition for the plant. Other organism cannot fix a nitrogen. This nitrogen fixing capacity is only present in the prokaryotic organism, not in eukaryote. And within the prokaryote, there are some bacteria, that is true bacteria, and some of the many of the this cyanobacteria, very common one, that is nostoc and anabena, and they have a special type of cell that is called the heterosis. They have enzyme. Heterosis contain the entire enzyme nitrogenase, which is helpful in the conversion of nitrogen into nitrate. Okay, this due to this nitrogen fixing capacity, the cyanobacteria, they are used as the fertilizer, as a fertilizer they are used. Biofertilizer we call, no, that biological organism is used as a fertilizer. And particularly this biofertilizer is used in the paddy cultivation, because paddy is a wet cultivation. That paddy cultivation require lot of water on the ground, so in the field require water, and in these this cyanobacteria, those nitrogen fixer can be easily grown if they are powder or they are present in the water body. They will multiply very fast and fix the nitrogen, and some of the nitrogen go to the soil and the plant get it. So they are used as a biofertilizer. There are in the bacteria there are chemosynthetic autotrophs. This chemosynthetic autotroph bacteria, they oxidize inorganic substances. Okay, and by the oxidation of the inorganic substances, energy is released, and that energy is used for the synthesis of ATP, and then this ATP is utilized for the other metabolic activity of the organism. So these bacteria are known as chemosynthetic autotroph, okay, or chemosynthetic bacteria. Those bacteria we call iron sulfur bacteria, then green sulfur bacteria, okay. And there are of course photosynthetic bacteria also, but these bacteria, true bacteria which carry out photosynthesis, they do not produce oxygen in their photosynthesis. Cyanobacteria, of course, they produce oxygen in their photosynthesis. And this chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria, they help in the nutrient cycling. Otherwise, this bacteria, if it is not there, then the nutrient will be locked in the chemicals and we will not get it. So these bacteria, they work on the mm, inorganic materials and release the those elements, and elements can be absorbed by the plants from the soil. Okay. But the maximum bacteria are heterotrophs, and they are the important decomposer. In that way, again, they help in the recycling of the matter on this earth. Okay, so this is the decomposers. Bacteria has our useful bacteria is useful for us as well as harmful. In the harmful condition, mainly that they cause the disease. Okay, disease causing bacteria, that is the pathogenic bacteria, are harmful to human beings. And useful, of course, bacteria has a lot of usefulness in the industry, in general life, for the making of different types of milk product. Okay, that making curd, cheese, etc. That is the activity of the bacteria. Some of the bacteria, they are also for the alcohol, etc. is there. Of course, many of the bacteria can cause they grow in our food materials and spoil the food. That is the damaging, rotting of the food, fruits, etc., fruit, vegetables, and also poisoning of the food, food poisoning. Food also is carried out by some of the bacteria. Okay, useful one is nitrogen fixation. That for the nitrogen fixation, which is the symbiotic bacteria, and common one is that rhizobia and clostridium. Many bacteria are pathogenic to animals. Say these are the cholera, typhoid, tetanus. These are the bacterial disease, common bacterial disease. Citrus canker is the plant disease that is found in the citrus fruit, lemon. Besides that, there are several diseases in our crop plant also takes place due to bacteria. Bacterial reproduction is mainly, say, in the prokaryotes, that prokaryotes, so the reproduction is mainly asexual. Mainly asexual reproduction, and in this also the binary fission. Fission is the most common, that one bacteria, okay, one bacteria is divided into two bacteria, one bacterium divided into two bacteria. This is the binary fission. Okay, and this things there this fission time is very fast. In 20 minutes they can, mm, their reproduction cycles can run, and so they can very fast they can multiply. This is the very common. And during unfavorable condition, they can produce a very tough protective layer around the cell of the bacteria, and this is called the spore formation. And so spore formation is just to overcome the unfavorable condition, of the habitat, and whenever the favorable condition come, the bacteria will come out from this coating. Okay, so again it survived. This is actually not a reproduction, we can say. This is, that is the protection from the unfavorable condition. There is no true sexual reproduction, because for the true sexual reproduction there should be formation of gamete, and their cell fusion, fertilization. Okay, fertilization should takes place. So during the sexual reproduction, these gametes are haploid, and after the fertilization, they are diploid. So in the true sexual reproduction, there is a cyclic movement of diploid condition to haploid condition, and again haploid to diploid condition. These things actually in bacteria does not take place. Okay, bacteria is basically they are haploid. They have only one chromosome, no, one DNA, circular DNA. But it has been found that sometime this DNA from one bacteria, it moves to the another bacteria. A part of the DNA of one bacteria can move to the transfer to another bacteria, and a new combination of DNA is formed in the one recipient bacteria. So that genetic recombination we call it is genetic recombination. This genetic recombination, new genetic combination, is also the basic point of the sexual reproduction. That's why this transfer of DNA is called that it is a primitive type of sexual reproduction. This is also seen in the bacteria, and this thing takes place by transformation and conjugation, as well as transduction. Those in the bacterial reproduction will learn those things. Another important member of this monera is the mycoplasma, the smallest organism. They are pathogen. Okay, they are mainly pathogen, and they cause the disease related to the lungs. Okay, the disease related to the lungs, respiratory disease they cause in plants, animals. And there is one thing is that they don't have cell wall, and here they are anaerobes, anaerobic. Without oxygen they live. Mm, This is one very important point, that in case of bacteria, all the bacteria they have cell wall. Okay, Archaebacteria or true bacteria, or it is Cyanobacteria, all have cell wall. So it is, if we if we compare with the other plants, okay, then it is like plant. Is it? Because plant cells have cell wall. So bacteria also is having cell wall. The cyanobacteria is having cell wall, but the mycoplasma, it is not having cell wall, which is a major character of animal cell. So this mycoplasma is animal-like. And in that way, we can say that the kingdom Monera also is a heterogeneous type. No, here kingdom Monera, this is a heterogeneous group of organism. In heterogeneous, in what sense? In sense of their nutrition. In if we see the cell structure, in cell structure, it is that with cell wall, and without cell wall. Okay, this one type of this mycoplasma, they are also some of the mycoplasma, they are known as PPLO. PPLO is this when it was discovered as PPLO mainly pleuropneumonia like organism. That is, as they cause the pneumonia of the animals, and those pleuro portion is this the protective covering of the lungs. Okay. So pleura is that protective cover and mainly infect this pleura of the lungs and cause the pneumonia. So this is also known as pleuropneumonia like organism, PPLO. Okay, now let us see solve some of the question on this. Okay, say the kingdom Monera. This methanogens belongs to methanogens are eubacteria, archaebacteria, dinoflagellates, slime mold. Which one? Methanogens.
Archaebacteria.
This belongs
Archaebacteria.
to Archaebacteria. Okay. Methanogen, then those halophiles and thermoacidophils. All these bacteria are Archaebacteria. Then nostoc and anabina. Nostoc, anabina, they are nostoc and anabina belongs to parasitic Archaebacteria, Cyanobacteria, Coccibacteria. This is nostoc and anabina are Cyanobacteria. Okay. Mycoplasma are classified under which kingdom? They are under which kingdom? Mycoplasma is under Monera. Okay. Number 4. Citrus canker. Citrus canker is a disease of citrus fruit, lemon group of fruits, and this is a bacterial disease. Citrus canker is a bacterial disease. Organisms living in salty areas. Organism living in salty areas. Salty areas are halophiles. Okay. Then come to next. This one we can say here are two diagrams. Can you see those this clearly? One is this one is the dividing bacteria. Okay. And another one is, can you recognize? This is written as a nostoc. So here A, B, C, D, E, these groups are identify the labels in the following figures. Identify the, now I think it is clear, identify the labels in the following figure A, B, C, D and E. This is two diagrams, a dividing bacteria and this is nostoc. So which one? Here the options are there in A, cell wall, B, cell membrane, C, heterosis, D, DNA and mucilaginous sheath. So these things are there. So which one will be the correct answer? Which one? Say, see clear carefully. A is, A has been see here, A is only the outer line. B is here the inner line of the bacteria. C, this wavy ring, and D is this dark colored cell, and E on the surface of this filament. Okay, but E1 is actually not very clear. Actually, it should be like this. Say a cell, filaments, and on these there is a coating. This portion is this coating layer is E. So which one will be the answer?
Option 2, sir.
Option
2.
3 or option 2?
Option 2.
2. The outer layer is the cell wall. Okay, that is true. That inner to the cell wall is the cell membrane. This ring, this one is the DNA. This is DNA. This is a dividing bacterial cell. So one DNA has been divided into two and they have gone to the daughter bacteria, which is about to separate. And after that here, this one, that D, D is the heterocyst. Heterocyst, the special cell here, the diagram is not very good. Yeah, but they have a dark structure and this is thick walled. Generally, this one is that heterosis is a little bit thick wall, different from the normal cells, and this is nitrogen fixing cells, and the outer layer, this is the mucilaginous sheath. Okay, so mucilaginous sheath with this cover. Okay, this question, all right, this can be, instead of two figure, only one is also can be asked. Only one. And this way question. Next one is the smallest living cells have all known characteristics except the smallest living cells. The smallest living cells have all known characteristics except which one? Survive in presence of oxygen, infect animals and plants, complete lack of cell membrane, contain DS DNA as genetic material. DS is double stranded. Okay, this is a double stranded DNA. That is the normal DNA as the genetic material. So, which one? The smallest cell, the smallest living cell has all the character except one. Which one?
Option 2, sir.
Say a smallest living cell, that is Mycoplasma, is it? So Mycoplasma, it is the pathogenic to plants and animal. This it has no cell. Oh, this one is, this is wrong. See here, this should not be cell membrane. This should be cell wall. Okay, complete lack of cell wall. Cell membrane is there. Cell membrane is there. Cell wall is not there. Without cell membrane, it cannot be a cell. Contain double stranded DNA, it infect animal, they survive in presence of oxygen. This is survive in absence of oxygen. This is anaerobe. Okay, so this is the mycoplasma. So our answer is this one. Next, here is a very big question. Which of the following statement is correct? Here we have six statements. Okay, the six statements are: one is the mycoplasma has no cell wall. Mycoplasma is the smallest living organism. Mycoplasma can survive without oxygen. Mycoplasma are pathogenic to plants and animals, so all mostly related to the mycoplasma. So this four statement related to mycoplasma. True sexuality is not found in bacteria. This is a sort of sexual reproduction by adapting primitive DNA transfer from one bacterium to others occur. So out of this, which one, which statements are correct statements? It is given option that all of these are correct. Here is only C, statement C, this one is correct. All except C, and there is only A, C and F. See here, this is mycoplasma, this no cell wall, this is a correct statement. This is a smallest living organism is correct statement. This mycoplasma pathogenic, it is correct statement. True sexuality we don't get in bacteria, it is correct statement. And primitive type of sexual reproduction, that DNA transfer, it is there. This is also correct statement. Only the one which is not correct, that is Mycoplasma can't survive without oxygen. Uh, Mycoplasma can survive without oxygen. So this is statement. So here all except C is our answer. All the statements are correct except C. Okay. Next is question number 9. The group of organisms that oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrate, nitrite, and ammonia use release energy for their ATP production. Are they are chemoheterotrophs, chemosynthetic autotrophs, photoautotrophs, saprophytic bacteria. Which one? Just I told this one is chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria. Okay, they are chemosynthetic, chemoautotrophs. Number 10. Here are some diseases: mumps, smallpox, cytocancus, cholera, typhoid, tetanus, sleeping sickness, malaria. Okay, there are, count the total number of diseases from the following that are caused by bacteria. From here, you have to identify how many bacterial disease. So which one is bacterial disease? Tell me out of this. Say mumps and smallpox. These are these are viral diseases. All right. The citrus canker, cholera, typhoid, and tetanus. These are disease caused by bacteria. Sleeping sickness and malaria. This is caused by protist, protestant. That is member of protista. This is protozoan disease. These two are protozoan disease. Disease caused by protozoa. This is by malaria parasite, plasmodium, and this is by trypanosoma. That is also a protozoa, unicellular, that protestant, and mumps and smallpox. These two are viral disease. Okay, so four here are the bacterial disease. Number 11, here is the question is very long. Find out total number of false statement from the following. How many false statements are there? Read it, and if you can read, yes. Cyanobacteria have chlorophyll A similar to green plant. This is true. Bacteria which oxidize various inorganic substances, they are chemoautotrophic bacteria. This is also true. Heterotrophic bacteria are less in abundance in the nature. No. Heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant bacteria. Okay, this one is wrong. Majority of heterotrophic bacteria are decomposer. This is true. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria play important role in recycling of nutrient. Yes, this is also true. So out of this five statement, how many are total number of false statement is total number of false statement is only one. Then number 12, no, this is a repetition. Number 13, this also, I think we did a peculiar order that prevails in the marshy areas. Okay, that prevails in marshy areas and cowsheds is on account of gas produced by Mycoplasma, slime molds, Archaebacteria, Cyanobacteria, by which group of organism? Peculiar order that prevails in marshy areas and cowsheds on account of gas produced by the gas which is produced, that is methane gas. No? Methane gas, and this is by methanogen, and methanogen belongs to Archaebacteria. Okay, this in the marshy places, sometime there is fire. Okay, automatically fire break out is there, and this is due to that in the marshy places, due to the decomposition, no, there is methane production, and methane gas is highly inflammable. It can catch fire even in the normal temperature. Okay, so they whenever there is gas production in large quantity, they catch fire. So in the marshy places, suddenly without anything, we can see this fire. Okay, these are the today. In the next class, we will see the kingdom Protista and next kingdom, and also some question related to that we will solve. Okay, like this way. So today I will stop it here. If you have any question,